So the game Crimson Desert just came out today on March 19th, 2026, and the reviews are in, and it's only been out for like 2 or 3 hours. Maybe for some of you it might have came out a little bit longer than that, maybe like a whole day. But the mix for this game is, the review for this game is already mixed. And honestly, I already knew that this game sucked, and I called that out like a month ago. I even made a post on it on my YouTube channel where I said this game is gonna suck because you know what? I don't know. That's just the vibe that I was getting. Sometimes the vibe you get doesn't necessarily equal the correct result as you think it is. And look, I'm open to be proven wrong, but hey, the review speaks for itself, and I would agree with him. And we'll look in the review in a bit, but I want to talk about more about like why I think this game suck. For me, the reason why this game suck is because honestly, this game is trying to be everything. It's trying to be too much of everything. That's what makes the game sucks. I think this game is trying to be Skyrim, Dragon's Dogma, Monster Hunter mixed with Red Dead Redemption and Breath of the Wild and maybe even like Dragon Age. I mean, I don't know about Dragon Age part, but it's just I'm getting this vibe like this game is trying to be everything. And on top of that, the people that made this game are not known to ever make a single player game. They're known to be, only for making an MMO game, which is called Black Desert. And Crimson Desert takes place within the world of Black Desert. But the only difference is that Crimson Desert is a single player game and Black Desert is an MMO game. Look, and I'm not saying that MMO developers who are mostly good at MMOs cannot make a good single player game, but in this situation, this game is just not good. To me personally, like I said, I think it's not good because it's trying to be everything. It's trying to be too much of everything that it actually ended up hurting itself. Like it doesn't really have its identity of its own because it's trying to be everything too much. Now sometimes when you grab styles from other things to become its own thing, it does work and it can work. But the problem is that this game, the execution was just not good. Now, I already looked at some of the negative reviews, like at least 50% of the negative reviews that's on Steam right now. The most complaint is that the game is generic, and the most complaint is that the control sucks and it's clunky and it doesn't feel good to play, and the control is just not intact and it's just not flowing good. And that can make a game bad because why would you want to play a game that doesn't feel good, doesn't move good? Because that can kill the mood and the vibe, and that can make a game suck. And another complaint is that the story in the game is just super generic. And some complaints do even say what I say, that this game is trying to be everything. And I agree with that. This game is trying too hard and is trying to be everything. That was the vibe that I was getting from the moment when they first released the gameplay trailer for this game like a few years back. Like this thing, and not just that too, but I just don't trust like people who make MMO games who go down this route and be like, oh, here's our single player game, and especially it takes place in an MMO world. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can make it work maybe, but I don't know. Like to me, Korea never are known to make these kind of games. They're mostly most Asian developers, game developers from Asia, and more specifically Korea. They're just known for mobile games and MMO games. And I'm not trying to make this a race thing. Like we all know that even China back then they mostly focused on MMO games, but right now in the past few years they've been doing like amazing with their AAA games. You have Wukong, you have Phantom Blade Zero One that's gonna come out soon, or is it called Phantom Blade Zero One? But it's just called Phantom Blade, which looks amazing. That game looks like phenomenal already, even though it hasn't come out. But we all know that game is gonna be good for sure, just with how they presented and how much care and how much marketing they've done for it. It looks better. It looks way better than Crimson Desert. But yeah, I just don't think Korea. Like I'm gonna say, I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but I just don't think Korea hit the nail yet, hit the to that point yet where they'd be like, oh, like this is how you should make a single player game. This is how it should look and feel. But yeah, like this game, I don't vibe with it. It's just I think it's trying to be hard, too much of everything, all at once, where it's just you actually just end up hurting yourself. But yeah, one of the biggest complaints about this game is that the controls suck. So we'll go and look and review on that right now. So let's take a look at the negative review. So right now the game sits at a mixed review right here. It has over 1,468 reviews, and what I guess it's like 50%, around 50% positive and like 40% negative. So let's look at this one right here by Ms. Rat. This person says slow, boring, doing peasant chores, reused faces everywhere, reused interaction animations everywhere, tons of harvesting glitches, all in all a huge disappointment. And because I played 3 hours, I can't get a refund. Total ass. This person just says big mess, not gonna lie. This person here says, I wish I liked this game. Truly I do. I love Breath of the Wild. I love fun open worlds. I love deep character actions. But this ain't it. It's a jack of all trades, master of none. This story is bad. The characters are bland. Moving the character around doesn't feel great. The puzzles are obtuse in a not fun kind of way. The boss fights aren't great. The user interface is one of the worst I have ever seen in a triple A game. The inventory system is weirdly obtuse, and worst of all, it is tedious. The cool stuff you see from the trailer is way deep into the game, so don't expect mechs and jetpacks anytime soon. I think the combat is stylish as hell though. I love the different wrestling moves you can do. I love the look of the open world, and exploring it can be interesting. I can see this game clicking for a lot of people, but it did not for me. This person here just says overhyped piece of shit. Yeah, I agree. I think this game is freaking overhyped. This person here says insane amount of visual artifacts dithering on the latest drivers, completely anti-keyboard controls. Is this not a game that launched on PC? Why the hell is it CTRL plus E to talk to someone or F2 to access my equipment wheel? You have to constantly spam shift to run, which is so bloody stupid. Expect reaching around your keyboard to do a basic function constantly. This person here says it's absolute jank. Dialogue is a joke. Characters pause for a second or two between every line, and it's written like some sort of home brand version of Game of Thrones. The controls are tedious and feel like they were designed by some creatures that doesn't have hands. The graphics are in a really odd place. Sometimes it looks amazing, but the crazy foliage shaking in Phantom Wind is incredibly off-putting. There's also a ton of detail shadow pop in that happens only a foot or two away from your character. Animations are incredibly stiff and strange too. Cliff walks like some half gorilla hunchback. Every character you pass has something to say to you and is annoying as hell. Yeah, one of the things that I've seen, one of the biggest complaints that I've seen in this game is that the control sucks. So here's another one that the person says, controls are a bit unusual if that matters, but the worst part is the input delay. Fight feels very clunky, and something as easy as jumping doesn't register the same consistently. Very little in the game runs smoothly as intended as of now. Issues like this will only become frustrating nightmares when it finally comes to time to play the more challenging content in the game. I want to explore and fight in the game enemies, not a game itself. Here's another person talking about how bad the controllers are. This person says controls, camera, and combat all felt absolutely awful. Refunded. Controls are so convoluted, it's hard to enjoy anything. This person here says, sadly, I just asked for a refund. I found the controls frustrating and the movement felt off to me. The camera tracking during combat was lacking, and the visuals don't appeal to my taste either. Additionally, the game's optimization could use some work. Overall, it seems like this game isn't for me, and maybe for others too. I have a feeling it will lead to more frustration than enjoyment. This person says, I feel like I'm in the mud. The button layout is horrible. I knew there wasn't going to be much of a story, yet I'm in 17 cutscenes. I'm in a conversation, but not one. People just kind of say things at me with zero emotions, but hey, it looks good. Here's a negative review which I totally agree, because this is something that I've been saying about this game, that it's trying to be too much of everything. This person here says, the biggest disappointment of the year so far in its current form. It feels like they forced the top 100 games to have a child, and when that child grew up, it decided to try to inherit tens of thousands of its parents' features without having mastered even 10% of any of them. It's beautiful and runs pretty good for such a huge game, but it's absolutely not worth the money nor your time unless you're into failed clones of Zelda plus Genshin plus dead and flat RDR2 hybrids. It's just as if there are way too many mechanics, even when you try to enjoy the game and understand the mechanics to get the hang of it. They immediately introduce you to get yet another bunch of overwhelming mechanics, and before you've had a chance to remember any of the previous ones, you've already forcing your brain to figure out how the rest are supposed to work. Plus, they all don't really work out that well together, and it's just whatever. The main character is cliche and unbelievably boring. The dialogues are written by a 12-year-old. It's just all awful. It's all just awful. That's what I meant. Yeah, I think this game is not that good. I already knew it. And I know it's not fair because some of you may be thinking it's not fair that you're hating on this game or giving a negative outlook towards this game when you haven't played it. That's because I don't need to play it. From the moment I saw this game, the first 10 seconds, I already knew this game gonna suck. Like, I could tell that this game was just trying too hard. Now these days, like what, 95% of games that come out, when you look at it, you already know it's gonna suck. And I can tell that this game was obviously gonna suck. That's why I didn't pre-order it. I didn't buy it. It's just I didn't vibe with it. There was something that was just telling me that this game, there's something off about it. And yeah, most of the complaint here is mostly talking about controllers. And I know I'm mainly talking about how this game is trying to be everything that this game sucks, but overall the game still sucks. If your game doesn't run smooth, doesn't play smooth, if the control sucks, that does ruin a game, because if it doesn't flow good, then the game is not good. It doesn't matter how pretty your game is, the game will suck regardless. And like I said earlier, I'm not trying to pick on Korean people or Korea or Asian developers. It's just that specifically in Korea, they're not known to make single player games like this. So when they try to do this, it's not really in their field. It's not their strongest point. Just not yet. I'm not saying they will never ever be able to make a open world RPG single player game good. Maybe one day they will, but as right now, not this one. And I know like China went through that phase where they back then they mainly focused on like MMOs and mobile games, but they later on ended up making like a big AAA game like Black Myth Wukong and Phantom Blade Zero and so many others. But for Korea, this is not it. Like, this is just not the game for it. It's just trying too much to be everything. It has so many different controller layouts, and I believe the reviews. I believe it because 90% of it is true. I don't need to waste my time and my money on something that I already know it's going to be bad, because I was right. Look at this, all these reviews, most of it is like negative. I mean, right now it's sitting at mix, but I think eventually it will fall to mostly negative. If not, but still, if it doesn't even go to mostly negative, it's still for sure going to be hit in the mixed review. Like, this is so bad. The game's only been out for a few hours and it's already on mixed review. You already know that a game's bad if it's like that. Here's another person that's give their negative review. Honestly, the world of Pi-Well looks amazing with plenty to do and lots of side quests, events and puzzles to get lost in, but 1 hour and 40 minutes in was enough for me to stop playing and refund it. Review is negative because simply put, the combat is nothing like what was shown in the trailers and is absolutely awful. In every trailer I've seen, there was every hint of any kind of lock-on mechanic at all, so what looked it to be a combination of free flow and Dynasty Warrior-esque combat with great combos is in reality plagued by a clunky auto lock system that can't form what I can see can't be disabled. It messes with the camera so much, even after trying to turn the lock on, rotation off and on, it auto locks to anything that even remotely comes close to you. It is absolute garbage, and I probably wouldn't even have bought it if it was shown in the trailers. It's a shame that Crimson Desert is a massive disappointment for me. Well, there you go. This game sucks. This person here says this game sucks, but it sucks while being beautiful AF. For real, the world is empty, NPCs don't do anything but block your path, basic actions are clunky, quests feel as generic as they can get, story is so bland to the point of being funny. Well, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but y'all could just read this your whole thing, but pretty much, you know, this game is just not good, and I don't even need to play it, and I already knew this a long time ago. I already knew it like years ago when they showed the trailer, and I even posted it. Like I said, I made a post on this game like a month ago on my YouTube channel. I post saying that this game is not good. You can look at my post. It's not a video post. It's just like a status description post, but that I made. And yeah, I predicted it. I was right. This game sucks. This person here says, "Oh God, it's a board. It's slow, janky, clunky, half-baked. The writing and lines delivery are atrocious. There are bugs, the world is huge but terribly empty, hundreds of activities but basic mechanics have been forgotten. The controls are the worst I have experienced in a video game. It's overcomplicated and terrible. The UI is confusing, and the hero, Cliff, is one of the most poorly designed character ever. The most basic looking video game hero, from the looks to the voice and down to the name. It's terrible, but it's huge and beautiful. Yeah, it doesn't matter how beautiful a game is. If your game doesn't flow good, doesn't feel good, the game sucks. So yeah, that's my take on it. Like, I already knew that this game was gonna suck, and I don't need to play it to know for it to suck for me. I just know it. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you seen plenty of games that came out, and you'd be like, oh, I don't even need to play that. I already know that game is not for me, and I already know that that game is gonna suck. You know, like High Guard, Concord, and so many other games. You know that it's gonna suck just by looking at it. Now, I know a lot of people actually went into this game expecting a lot and have like so much hope for it, and it is overhyped for Crimson Desert. But when I first saw the gameplay, I just knew like something about it is off. And I know I'm repeating myself. I already said this like in the past few minutes in this video, but like I just knew something was off. It just something about it just didn't feel right. And on top of that, I look at the game developer and oh, like it turns out it's Pearl Abyss. It's a Korean game developer from Korea, and I was like, oh, that's even worse because Korea is just not known for these type of games, and it's not known for this. They're known for MMOs, and they're known to make only online games and mobile games. And I'm not saying that Korea could never have that breakthrough. They can because China done it before. So I do believe Korea they could do it. But as of right now, it's just this game is just not it. I don't think they understand how a single player open world game is. It's trying to be too much of everything. It's trying to have a mechanic way too deep, but which ended up hurting itself. Sometimes it's best to just keep the game simple and clean and just don't try to be everything all at once. I'm not saying don't learn and grow from all these other open RPG games. I'm not saying don't take elements from those games and put it together to make it your own. You could do it, but just number one, keep it simple. Number two, properly execute it. That's it. But this game was trying to be too much of everything. It's trying to be Red Dead Redemption, Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, Monster Hunter, Dragon's Dogma. Let's just put all that together with some crazy, over-the-top, deep mechanics. And what did that do? Ended up hurting the game even more. The game is not broken. The game works fine. The game is intentionally designed like this with so many like horrible, weird, clunky, and weird motion and weird movement. The controls are just not good. And I don't need to try it. I know the game is gonna suck. I don't need to. Like, you don't need to try certain games. You already know it's gonna suck. And you know what? Like, I'm not gonna waste my time and money on that. It's just a waste of time for me, waste of my money, and I don't need to do that. So yeah, I'm not saying Korea could never do a good game for single player. Maybe they can, but just right now is just not the time. And like, I was open to being wrong. I'm always am, but when I knew it was just like, oh, it's from Korea and it's from Pearl Abyss, I was just like, no, because Korea is just not known for this. So I already like was way not interested in it. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm not here to hate on them. It's just that I just knew that the game is just not going to be good, so I'm not going to be interested in it. And turns out, you know what? I don't need to waste my time on stuff like that. I know that it's going to suck for me. Probably a lot of you who's watching this, you probably know it's going to suck for you already too. But yeah, that's all I have to say. If you're watching this, you know what? Thanks for watching, and hopefully you like, share, and subscribe.